What's going on, Soul Nation? Ginger Prime here, and today let's talk about Blue Protocol. Now, since this is the first time I'm posting about it here on Ginger Prime, we need to go over some of the basics, but there has been a dev update with more information about this game, and honestly, I'm really excited about it because it kind of ticks all my boxes here in this case. Action RPG, anime, this thing is beautiful, and since we've been waiting 8 years for Phantasy Star Online 2, why not get our hopes set out for maybe something in the future? There's a lot to cover, and so stick with me. We're going to go over the basics of what this game is, and then we're going to talk about what they showed off in the live letter summary. All the while, you're going to be seeing footage from the recent live letter talking about some gameplay, some character creation, and more. Now, if you're interested in checking out this game, I've covered how to register for the closed beta test just yesterday over on Work to Game. I'll include a link in the description below if you want to go check out that video and apply to be one of the 50,000 people who might be able to get into the closed beta here in early March. But beyond that, if you like action RPGs, if you really want to help this channel out with the algorithm, or you feel like I've earned it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. It really does help us out a lot. But let's go ahead and dive into the real meat of this game. So, what is Blue Protocol? Well, like I said, it's an action MMORPG developed by Bandi Namco, and it's coming out of Japan. It's built on the Unreal 4 engine, but if you just look at the art style, it feels like I'm playing Sword Art Online. It feels like you're stepping into the world of an anime. They really, visually, have nailed it. Now, the game is going to focus on teamwork and coordination, but it's an action RPG. So it's not going to rely on your typical MMO Holy Trinity, which would be the tank, healer, and DPS. So speaking of the Trinity, we don't have that here, but we do have 4 confirmed classes, and who knows if this is going to change if it gets localized into English, and will it be released here? Well, we can hope right now. It has currently been registered with NA and EU as a part of a trademark, so take that for what you will. Again, as a Phantasy Star Online 2 player, I have the patience. Apparently I have a lot of patience when it comes to kind of these Japanese games making their way to the West. Hopefully we'll see it. Hopefully it won't be region locked. Currently it is not region locked or IP blocked, but however, if you do get into the beta, be sure to maybe use a VPN. We have one that we use here and over at Work to Game as a part of a kind of a channel sponsorship, which is through Exit Lag, and I've already got mine set up with Blue Protocol in mind, but that's just me. Link is in the description if you want to try it out for 3 days and get 20% off with the code DOWORK. Just as an aside, you can use any service you want. I'm just telling you what I use. Okay, so I promised you guys classes. What are they? Well, they have the Aegis Fighter, the Twin Striker, the Blast Archer, and the Spellcaster. And these at first really struck me as very generic names. Fighter, Striker, Archer, Caster. Oh my goodness. From the names alone, you can kind of guess. Now, the Fighter, though, is a sword and shield melee class. Now, this is going to have a strong offense, strong defense, and I guess you could kind of say it's your tank, but honestly, you can play it any which way you want. They're promising further development where you can kind of specialize your classes in different ways as opposed to introducing new classes. So hopefully that means more trees or branching paths. Ultimately, we're going to have to wait and see in the end. The Twin Striker is actually probably one of the most unique style classes I've seen in a long time, as a dual axe wielding melee class. If any of my fellow Final Fantasy XI players out there know War Sub Ninja rocking the dual axes, that is what gives me vibes here. Obviously this is much faster, and it's going to be a melee class, so you got 2 melee classes right off the bat that are going to be up close and personal. The other 2, the Blast Archer, long range DPS and support class, obviously rocking a bow. I wouldn't it wouldn't make sense to have an archer not have a bow, so I don't know if they're going to be playing around with that at all, but we'll have to wait and see. And then lastly, you have the Spellcaster. I'm wondering if this would get translated into Wizard or Sorcerer or something like that. Spellcaster just seems so descriptive, I guess, for lack of a better word. Anyway, it's a ranged mage class that can use fire, lightning, and ice magic. Honestly, I think any of these choices are probably going to be pretty stellar and epic. Obviously, you see no healer or dedicated support or dedicated tank. I think that each class could probably be able to do any kind of role, both in a solo and a group fashion, which personally excites me, hands down. I like it when you can kind of build a class and a character the way that you want. Now, it's also confirmed that you can, on one character, switch to the different classes. This is something we're seeing. I think it's very popular when you look at Final Fantasy XIV and Phantasy Star Online 2. the ability to change class with one character, which means the classes themselves are not going to be gender locked. We've seen this a lot in Korean-based MMORPGs. Thankfully, it does not appear like it's going to be that way here with Blue Protocol. Now, about the nitty-gritty. When's it going to be released? What's it going to cost? Well, right now, we don't know the model, but based off of interviews that have been coming out, it's rumored and it's kind of looking that it might be that free-to-play model. Lots of discussion going on in the Discord, lots of communication regarding like different points of view on that. And you can see, obviously, with the success of Phantasy Star Online 2, the free-to-play model can really work especially inside Japan. Maybe that means that it can be a very balanced and fair model. But I'm always going to be skeptical of that. It's kind of, you have to prove it to me. You got to prove that your model makes sense. Now, as far as release, all we know is about the next closed beta test. Hopefully, my application will be accepted and I can go hands-on. That way I can give you guys some hands-on impressions. But we'll have to wait and see. As most things go, that's just the nature of the beast. So what was talked about? Well, the dev update spent a lot of time with character creation, and that's what you're going to see on the screen right now. This truly is incredible. Visually, the differences in which that you can kind of create your character, and then when you're running around the world, how it all interacts. I'm truly blown away. Just the level of detail. This feels like I'm playing an anime, and that's something that I'm actually personally excited about. When it comes down to the combat, the action, and the world and the story, there's a lot to cover and a lot of depth that we're going to have to dive into. If you guys are interested in more on this channel, just let me know in the comments below if you want to see more Blue Protocol content here. My concern as a content creator on the platform is that if this game is years away from the bigger release, I don't want to be giving you guys false hope that this is coming anytime soon, but oh my gosh, I want to play this game. I want you to be able to experience it. It really captures my imagination. Now, I must confess, when I first saw Legend of Zelda, yes, back in the day, Wind Waker, as a gamer, as somebody who wanted Nintendo to be number one, that was me, definitely fanboying out back in my youth. The cel-shaded style did not appeal to me. I thought it was so cartoony and so kiddish. It was frustrating. But it means they're so expressive. Wind Waker delivered something so visually unique, and just when I say expressive, it really kind of brought me into the character, and that's what Blue Protocol is doing for me today. How the characters interact, how their eyes look, how everything's formed. It captures my imagination, and it's such a unique art style, especially when you compare it to like something that may be considered more realistic or more detailed. The rest of the dev update consisted of the 50,000, the closed beta test, showing off character creation, talking about their next update, which is coming next week, showing a little bit of the different classes, and basically the start of the game, running around talking about the different cutscenes and more. Well, they kind of went into more of their design ideas, right? Talking about like the characters, how they look and interact with the world. Then after the character creation completed, they kind of went into the basic game and then started talking about some of the basic features of the game itself. So one of the really cool things they showed off is talking to like the different NPCs. And like I said, it was very expressive. The characters smiled and they interacted with each other. Now they went to reveal the different markings over characters' heads meant different things. Like blue marks meant subquests, so that way you can kind of find different things that you should prioritize as your kind of approach to playing the game. Now they said there was going to be an arena function, but translation's a little bit iffy on whether this is PvP or PvE focused. So they went ahead and showed off kind of the beach and showing swimming and more as it all relates to kind of the visual art style and beauty of this game. For MMO players, this shouldn't be, considered like revolutionary, but obviously an auto run. They have a 2 mode with different camera directions that they kind of showed off. And for me, everything they showed off makes me really excited. Now, I don't know when the release date of this game is going to be, but I'm wondering if it's going to be this year, especially when it relates to the Japanese servers. So hopefully, again, soon we'll be able to bring you more information from the next dev update. Soon we'll be able to hopefully start to give you some hands-on impressions with the beta if we're able to get into the lottery. I'm sure that with 50,000 slots open, I'm sure competition's going to be fierce. Again, go check out that video on how to register for the beta. You can do that up to March 2nd to register for that, to be able to see if you can get in. Now, at the end of the day, there are no guarantees as to whether we'll get in or not, but if we do, rest assured I'll share with you whatever I can as long as I'm not under NDA. But anyway, there's going to be more content coming. Again, let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next. We got lots of stuff getting ready to be shown off today, so buckle up, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.